Look, you can't tell me that the Golden State Warriors, after Draymond Green got ejected, didn't come together, not behind Draymond, I don't think. But it was more in spite of Draymond Green that came together. Here's what I keep thinking. Here's what I kept thinking about last night. So he gets ejected with 4 minutes into the game.
Oh, my God. I thought it was 3.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so they're going to go into halftime, into the locker room, and there's Draymond Green. He'll either be in his uniform or he'll already be showered and in his regular clothes. But how do you sit in that locker room for the first half and wait for your team to come in and then, like, what?
Yeah,
like,
I would be in tears. I let y'all down again.
Like, is there any...
That's who the tears should be coming from if you meant it.
Does this sound harsh if I say, I'm like, again, he gets kicked out. He's in the locker room. He showers. Now he's watching the game. Here comes the team at halftime. It's like, don't you feel some shame when they come in?
Not.
And when you see Steph and Clay?
He doesn't care, Steiny.
Yeah.
It is obvious he does not care. But let me tell you who cares.
My guess.
GP2. Everybody that contributed to that win, but Steiny, you know how much I care about Steph, man, and what he's meant and how he's built this thing. But Steiny, that visual of him buckled with the jersey over his face, man, I mean, you can't tell me Dre didn't lose anything from Steph last night. We'll never know, but miss me. And thank God I know this team is all in. I never really doubted it. But Steiny, he had time to know. Shut up. They give you leeway every day still. And that kind of doesn't sit well with me, but I'm a nobody. But you left your dudes on a back-to-back hanging.
Yep.
And look what it did to the chef. He buckled. He was emotional and told the world what we thought we knew, but last night Dre can never get the Steph visual back of I had enough of this. And then my dad said this, I got to be real here.
Oh.
They've created this.
Doubt. Yes, they have. There's no way around that. There's no way around that.
But you still can be disappointed.
Of course you can. Of course you can. I really do. Do you think that we talked about Draymond for a long time, and there are differing points of view on Draymond. Do you think that Draymond did anything last night where the staunchest of his supporters will say, now I'm out on this guy.
I'm the first in. I'm not just. We don't enjoy this, Steiny. What you just said, I believe, is fact. That is what we saw last night. I believe. May never know, but watch Steph Curry with his hand on the chef's back, the kicking of the chair, everything. And what about what Bonte said before he left? The night before, Klay Thompson trying to be a leader,
right.
Propping Wiggins up. And another rat on the table, I'm going here because I can. We really never talked about the foul on Patty Mills that Dre had in Miami.
Well,
and I said, you know what? Nothing to see here. And everybody kept it moving. But Steiny, there's that anger, man, or that moment of, I don't care about anybody but myself, and I'm gonna get this off my chest. And if that means y'all got to play without me, you do. That's just not. That's not it.
Well, the other thing is, a lot of times what happens after Draymond does this is there's a conversation about how Draymond has maybe not been treated fairly, and I think if you're a Warrior fan and you watch the games like Guru and I watch the games, which is start to finish, that you have to acknowledge, because we've acknowledged on the show and off the show over the last month or so, I feel like I've been watching the Warriors and I've been watching Draymond and I've been thinking to myself, tell you what, you can't say he's on a short leash. You can't say the refs are coming after him. He grabbed Aldama by the shirt. Nothing happened.
Nothing.
it's not, there is nobody out there, or I shouldn't say that, but I completely disagree with anybody out there who would say, the ref's got to walk away, or the ref can't bait him, or the ref's got rabid. Come on. We've been watching the last month, and I really think the officials have tried to allow him to express himself, which he has. He hasn't been penalized for it. But I think he's been walking a tightrope for the last 3 or 4 weeks, whether it's Patty Mills, whether it's Aldama, or whether it's just the visual of how he is in an official's space and yelling at him emotionally. So this one's not one where he got the short end of the stick last now. That wasn't right. He made contact with the official. That's a period, end of story, technical foul. In fact, the rule is you must, after your second technical foul, you must be ejected. It's automatic ejection. But a player can be ejected after one technical foul. And he made contact with the ref, and then he was just absolutely relentless. He was relentless. And I was watching between the technicals thinking, man, I can't believe they let him talk. They let Draymond talk to the ref
before he got ran.
Then he got run. But he almost didn't get run. If he doesn't say that very last thing, he gets to stay in that game. And then I think I'm saying, I'll tell you what, no player in the league's allowed to talk to refs like Draymond Green's allowed to talk to refs. Because I do believe that. I actually think Draymond gets the benefit of the doubt from the officials more often than not right now. Yeah. And so the fact that he's still stepping over the line, or he did last night, I can't point the finger at the officials. I'll point it at all of us who, once again, apparently have been schnookered.
Okay, and I'm going to say this about that. I would like 888-957-9570. Where are the Draymond supporters? Am I being, on a personal level, am I overdoing this? Steiny, I'm looking past the score. I'm looking past the win. This is something that's gone on. He says he's gotten the help. But to leave his comrades hanging last night, to me, some of that stuff you can never get back. And again, I keep saying this, and we'll hear from Steph. We'll play the audio. I can't get over watching Steph have his moment. That told you everything.
That may be more what Steph's game and demeanor and emotions last night, to me, are a bigger story than what Draymond Green did. Because Draymond Green's done what he's done before. But we've never seen Steph Curry go from despondent and incredulous and more emotional than he's been at virtually any other time in his career early in the game. When's he ever hit a dagger three and kicked chairs? Man. That's not what he does. So something is going on with Steph Curry as it relates to Draymond Green. And that was in front of all our eyes last night.
No doubt about it.
You cannot watch that game as a Warrior fan and it not cross your mind, I think Steph's done with this guy. How could that not cross your mind last night?
You won't hear from me?
Yeah. 888-957-9570. I'm going to tell you, I'm convinced about something now. You know how, nobody really knows what's happened, but this is what I think. And maybe I'm wrong, but it's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. I think this offseason, the Warriors were making a decision on Draymond Green. And I think that there may have been people in that organization who were saying it might be time to move off Draymond Green. I believe that Steph Curry knew that that's something that was being considered. And I don't believe Steph Curry's the kind of guy who would ever say, trade him at all costs. And I don't believe Steph Curry would ever say, if you trade him, I want out. I don't think that's how Steph is. I think they probably told Steph, we got a decision or two to make on Draymond Green, obviously. And I think Steph probably said, listen, I know it's going to be a tough offseason. We got a tough couple years coming up of decisions. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. I'm a Golden State Warrior, all right? And I think there might have been an understanding that they may move off Draymond Green. And whatever happened when Draymond Green drove down to Joe Lacob's house, maybe Draymond thought his career with the Warriors might be over. But I think when he drove down to Lacob's house and walked away with a contract, I think there were people in the organization that went, okay. So he got his deal, and he's going to be here for 4 more. Oh, okay. Well, I thought we were thinking about not doing that. Not that it would be a mutiny or anything like that, but I'm convinced. I am. Wow. I think that there were some people in that organization that thought they were going to move on from Draymond, and when they didn't, to some people, it was a letdown.
Wow.
And then this year happens, and now it's just...
And it keeps happening.
And now, exactly. That's what I mean. This year happens, which means 4 more ejections this year, and I think people are tired of it.
Steph's tired of it.
No
and
doubt.
Tell me if this is foul. I'm being real. You, Evan, Spadoni, Steiny, tell me if I'm being... Draymond doesn't deserve Steph. What if I told you that? Like, that with the world saw Steph get emotional, man. Words are powerful. You can't take them back. Have you noticed Coach Kerr is not even trying to defend? He was like he deserved to get run. Like nobody's hiding it anymore. But it was a back-to-back against team that got some length, and this is how you do us? You didn't want any part of that game. And then you're waiting there with the night. That's the part that got me. Night, I'm waiting, greeting y'all in the room like you turned an ankle or something or broke a leg. You quit on us. Again.
Yeah. Let's go to Mamie. Mamie's in San Francisco. Get us started, Mamie. How you doing?
I'm doing just great.
Hey.
Now, I think it's unfair to dump on Draymond. Draymond is Draymond, and the Warriors been dealing with it since he's been there. But Draymond is much needed with the Warriors. Yeah, he got a quick temper, but what I noticed was when the ref followed behind him. If he wouldn't have followed behind him, he wouldn't have known what he said, right? When have you seen the ref just trail a player after they done call a technical on it? Whatever he said, he shouldn't have said it. I don't think Steph Curry is done with Draymond Green. Steph Curry was disappointed in Draymond Green. Steph Curry don't need Draymond Green. Yes, he does. The whole Warrior team need Draymond Green. But Draymond Green needs to learn how to hold his temper. I don't appreciate everybody dumping on Draymond Green. He's a very skilled, very high IQ basketball player.
But what would you like us to do then?
Is he worth it?
Yeah, what would you like us to do, young lady?
Is this all worth it, Mamie?
I think the Warriors think he's worth it, and I do too.
All right.
He got kicked out the game. What did the Warriors do? They stepped up.
Right.
Sometimes, maybe he got kicked out so they would step up.
All right. I'm not with you there, Mamie, but thank you for the call.
Yep. And she's not by herself.
But that official
was walking to the score table.
To walk away.
Okay, he was walking to the scores table. Dre was still barking. And then used a little profanity.
A little.
I couldn't believe he got ran, man. I just couldn't believe
Why
it.
not?
Because he showed
He's been
growth.
close to getting run the last month.
He changed.
But
he
that's
was talking to people.
But this is what I'm talking about. Like
Put other people first, like your teammates.
But Goo, you and I have been talking for the last month about how he could have been teed up in any of the last 3 weeks. I know he got one for the Aldama thing, but not for grabbing his shirt. Yeah. He threw Patty Mills to the floor. Like, I don't believe he's really changed. I believe that he's kind of still the same guy. They just gave him a little more rope after the big suspension, and he kept trying to take more and more, and then last night he goes overboard again, which he's done at least 4 times this year.
And people, you can live your life the way you want it, but if I were Draymond Green, the last thing I would do, this is like a broken record, Steiny, I would not have did a podcast. Well, sometimes less is more. Well. Sometimes just shut the you-know-what up because we saw it. We know what you did. And now you're on the podcast selling.
I mean, like this is where, to me, this is the issue with Draymond Green, and we kind of got a piece of it in the locker room when he gave Steph the night, and he hugged Steph. There's two things going on there in my mind. One is that, like Steph, maybe in another player, whether if it would like they're like, I don't want to be hugged by you right now. Mm. I don't want to be hugged by you right now. It was awkward. It was just awkward. It really was. And,
how could it not be?
And I could see teammates really being pissed off about that last night. That's all I'm saying. And somebody on the text line, the YouTube chat, I want to give him his credit, but I can't. Said something's. Quinn Thompson, new person on the YouTube chat. Something's changed with Draymond in the last month, and I think he means with Draymond and the team.
You think so?
Something. Last night, there was a lot going on, and what I is there anybody who watched that game last night and didn't think, boy, looks like Steph's done with this guy? How could you not think that?